As a mom, I've learned how to approach a lot of different challenges. Whether it's with my son or with my work, motherhood is not just about managing schedules or being a taxi driver for every need. It's about learning how to show up and be patient and find balance even when things feel a little chaotic. And as it turns out, a lot of things that I've learned in motherhood, I've been able to utilize in my business, and it's made me a better creator for it. And over the years, I've learned a lot of different lessons about patience, empathy, and finding balance. And today, I want to share some of those lessons with you. Because if there's one thing that I've learned, it's that no matter how stressful or chaotic your life becomes, there's always a way through it. And I think one of the most important things that I've learned being a mom to a special needs child is the need for patience and diligence. This is a whole other level of patience that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the type of patience that it takes to wait in line at a grocery store. Being a mom has taught me how to be patient with myself and with others. There's a lot of waiting and adjusting when you have a child that has changing needs all the time. I've learned a lot about focusing on the small moments and little victories and to celebrate all of those milestones. And that's something that I've carried over into my business. And this type of mindset in my business has helped me to become a lot more patient with myself as I go through all of the learning curves that this type of creator career takes. And this right here has helped me in how I approach different aspects of my life, whether it's caring for my son, taking some of that personal growth time, or making decisions in my business. And ultimately, it's about creating a space where creativity can naturally flow. And being a mom has taught me a really valuable lesson about adaptability. Now, I know things won't always go exactly how I plan them, but adjusting and staying open to new opportunities has made me a better creator and allowed me to innovate on a whole different level. Balancing my work with everything in my life has been quite challenging for me, if I'm being honest. And I think part of this is because I do create at home. And if you've watched some of my videos when I'm creating pieces, in the background is my kitchen, and that's the center hub of my family life. And some days I feel like I'm being pulled in a million different directions, and there are so many distractions working at home. So I think you might find that it's no surprise that I struggle in the area of balancing my family versus my work, because some days it does feel like both of them melt together. So it's been really important for me to establish strong boundaries between them. And I'm sure to some degree you can probably relate to what I'm saying. Sometimes it feels impossible to balance everything in life. And something that I've really learned is that balance doesn't look the same every day. Some days I might feel like I need to seize an opportunity, therefore I will be working more. And other days I might feel like I need to spend more time with my family, or maybe I need to rest. Either way that this goes is okay. I used to put myself in this impossible situation. I used to feel guilty for working too much, but then I would also feel guilty for taking time off. And here's the thing is that boundaries are really important, but they don't need to be rigid. And that's really how I've interpreted balancing without feeling guilty. And being a mom has made me more empathetic, and not just to him, but to myself and to others. I know that not everyone shares their struggles publicly, but below the surface, they might be really going through it. Being a caregiver has taught me that compassion is key. And that's something that I have carried over into my business and into my creation. Sometimes just being there for someone as a listening ear is the most important thing that we can do. When my son is having a really rough day, it's hard to not feel that empathy for him because he's truly struggling on those days. And whether I'm connecting with a friend, a family member, or somebody who's bought one of my pieces, I've learned more about understanding what people's needs and situations are, and probably most important, meeting them where they're at. This has helped me to create more meaningful and deep connections. I know when my son is having a really rough day and he's on sensory overload, it has become so important for me to just meet him where he's at and to try and understand what he might be going through. I hope that this type of empathy does spill over into all of my relationships, including my business. And as far as my creative process and my inspiration behind some of my pieces, motherhood has even influenced this area of my business. For a long time, I didn't even wear jewelry because my son would flail his arms everywhere and I was worried about it ripping off. But over time, this has helped me to realize my preference when it comes to jewelry and my creations. It's actually one of my pet peeves to have wires or ends sticking out anywhere. So you might have noticed that a lot of my pieces tend to be pretty tightly wrapped and I don't like sticking out edges. A lot of that comes from just being a mother and thinking about practical wearability with my pieces. And if there's any other lesson that has become valuable from being a mother in my business is it's changed the way that I look at time. Being a mom is busy enough, and then you add running a business on top of that, and it starts to shift how you look at your time. And I've learned how to make the most of my time when I am with my family. If anything, it's helped me to realize how important it is to be in the present moment. And here's the thing, time can slip away really easily. I don't want to get to the end of my life and regret how I decided to spend my time. When I'm with my son, I try my best to just be there with him without all of the other distractions. So when I'm with him and we're spending time, I'm not answering emails. And that's also part of the boundaries that I was talking about a second ago. This is something that I feel has been a really important part of what I've carried into my business as well. To me, there's nothing worse than having the feeling of just spinning your wheels, spending hours and hours on something only to have it not really move the needle for you in your business. So when I'm busy working and creating, I'm also doing my best to cancel out all other distractions and be present in the moment and focus on what I'm doing, which, like I was mentioning before, has been one of my most challenging things about balancing a creator and family life. One of my biggest hopes for my son is that he always believes in possibilities, no matter what challenges are in front of him. And there's going to be some, because life throws obstacles at all of us. No one is exempt from this. But no matter how difficult or unclear things become, we all have the power to push through them. Challenges don't mean that you stop, they just mean that you adjust. This type of mindset has changed the way that I look at my life and my business. And I really want to inspire others to feel the same. No matter what you're facing, believe in all possibilities. There's always going to be a way through. We have been through so many different learning experiences and challenges with my son. And truthfully, there were many times when I felt like throwing in the towel and just quitting. But seeing how proud he was after making it through a really difficult challenge has been everything that I've ever needed in order to keep going. And I think this is tied into my perseverance type mentality when it comes to my business. So I just want to thank you for being here today. I hope that you really enjoyed this, and don't forget to subscribe so that you get notified of all my future videos.